All right, everybody, what's going on? I'm Dylan, aka The Real Dill. We appreciate you hopping in and checking out this video. So right now what we're talking about is the latest update slash patch from Activision for Season 1 of Warzone 3, essentially. I know it's just called Warzone, but Warzone 3 for the sake of what we're dealing with. So I just wanted to go through a few of the highlights of this patch, of this update, and then we're going to go through and talk about some of the guns I think are going to be meta, with one that is absolutely broken, I promise you. So let's hop right in. We'll just go through. A lot of this is focused on like sort of like stability and performance stuff. Not a big deal. I think this was just like how to get things unlocked for guns. The weapons and attachments weren't unlocking correctly, so they tried to fix some of that. Let's see. Yeah, this is just some unlocking customization stuff. Here's where we get into the nitty gritty here. So strongholds, they only drop a black site key when the stronghold is like first completed. So that's kind of interesting. I don't think it really matters that much because strongholds don't pop up all that much like they used to, but I think it's an interesting change that probably is for the better. You don't want people trying to hit black sites all the time and trying to get that constant UAV or whatever they're going for. This is a good change. Originally, they didn't say this was only for Urzikstan, like the big map, the new map. But the redeployment for Resurgence will now be disabled at the end of the third circle. So it brings it in line with the other Resurgence, like Vondel and Ashika. So I think this just makes it like, you know, fair and predictable for all the maps that you're playing Resurgence on. So that's good. They disable occupation scan. Like all this is just sort of quality of life stuff that doesn't matter. Here's the nitty gritty for weapons. And this is like the big change that have happened. The DG56 nerfed, and I think this is essentially nerfed into the ground. Like I don't think it's that usable right now. FR556 very similar. It might be a little better than this one, but overall, like at range, you're gonna have to be 4 and 5 bursting instead of like 2 and 3 bursting people. So the burst meta might be over. The Bass B got some nerfs as well. We'll see how this sort of plays out. I think for close range, it's still going to be decent, but at long range, it might not have that knockdown power it originally had. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Akimbos, the core 45, big chunk down from the max damage from 45 to 30. That's a pretty big nerf there. The Redetti, also a big nerf. Reduced the headshot multiplier. So these Akimbos got nerfed pretty big time. The marksman rifles, which were kind of OP, especially this interceptor, they all sort of got nerfed. This was sort of a preemptive nerf. I don't think anyone was using that. But this interceptor was still, and I think this is only a nerf to the, obviously the headshot multiplier. So I think this gun is still going to be very solid, up competing for meta, I think. If you hit your shots, it's really going to reward accuracy and your ability to hit those shots consistently. So very interesting from that. So these revolvers, we'll talk about these later, but this got nerfed supposedly from 120 down to 70. It looks like a huge nerf for Akimbos. We'll see. The Haymaker gets nerfed. The Finnick, even though it probably shouldn't have been in the meta, was somehow meta because of the buffs and the changes recently. So they nerfed it back down to probably put it probably outside the meta, honestly. And this is huge. This is a first step, like that touche step, forward for Footstep audio. But the fact that they're trying to address this is big, especially before the holiday season. I think that's like a huge step forward, literally, when we're not able to hear them because we can't even hear their footsteps, but they can hear us, right? With them responding to us in this sense. I mean, so I'm glad that they're actually listening to folks that are saying, hey, your footsteps are broken. Hey, your parachute sounds are broken. Hey, the movement, like you can't hear people right next to you. I have played a little bit tonight. I will say this is better. It's going the right direction, but it still needs a lot of work. And they're kind of acknowledging that. They say like one of the primary factors is the fidelity of the experience across titles. I would say that Warzone is far worse than multiplayer when it comes to Footstep audio. Obviously, multiplayer has different perks and things that changes that, but it's very different. So I think there's some things they're going to work on because it is complex when you're talking about occlusion and, you know, if people are behind things that should block that sound, they're not very good at this. But someone deleted the damn audio file and maybe they found it. Who knows? I could say that it is a little better, but I don't think this is going to change anything drastically. So we'll see what happens when there's more work to be done on this. But the fact that they're listening and they're willing to respond, I think is a big freaking deal. So stay tuned. Hopefully this gets better, but right now it's still like, not so great. Some minor bug fixes, nothing too major. And that's sort of the gist of this update. And it was kind of a surprise update, honestly. I don't think anyone expected these major weapon changes before the holidays, but here we are. So right now, let's hop into the game. Let's talk about some potential metas, right? So I got the game up here. I'm just going to go in here so I can look at my guns. Well, no, that makes sense. All right. So first and foremost, the pull my yacht. That's what I call it. 7.62. I think this gun is pretty good. I don't know that it's going to be like absolutely game breaking or anything. But we're going to talk about it. You put the Spirit Fire Suppressor, which is what you put on most long range guns. The interesting thing about this is the conversion kit. This bullpup conversion kit makes this gun very fast for movement for an LMG. And then you put the Jack long barrel on it, the Eagle's Eye 2.5 times sight, which I think is probably one of my favorite sights in the game. And then you put this recoil reduction pad stock on to really kind of try to control that recoil at long range. But I think this is actually a pretty solid build. It's got a ton of ammunition, so when you're in those modes that need it at long range, you're going to be able to have that knockdown power for a long period of time. And even like suppression fire, you can just absolutely let it eat, and it is what it is. I think we're going to be shifting towards an LMG / maybe sniper meta. I don't think ARs are going to compete the way they were, but I know we were going to talk about this later. I'm going to talk about it now. These are the most broken guns in the game. 1000%. Here's the build for them. These revolvers are stupid and they should be nerfed immediately. Essentially, when you run these with AKIMBO, if you fire both the pistols at the same time, it is a one shot down. So one shot from each pistol, but boom, one shot down at close range. There's nothing that can compete with it right now. So the breacher device muzzle, the heavy long barrel, the sidearm, laser, the SNAKESHOT ammunition, and then obviously AKIMBO. And these are absolutely filth at close range. And you'd be surprised how far you can actually down people with these with just 2 shots. Wild that these are somehow nerfed yet made better. I don't know what they're doing, but they need to fix this stuff. It is wild. So if you want to use them, they're broken right now. Throw this build on. I promise you will not be missing out on the meta right now. Use these broken guns, go get a few people pissed off. It is what it is. Hopefully they nerf them very soon. But for now, if you want to compete at close range, these are the meta for sure. So that's what I'd say was probably my favorite meta right now. If you're going to snipe, Cat is definitely the best option in my opinion. So we're going Sonic Suppressor, Zang 34 barrel, the Spire Point ammunition that gives you the range and the downing power you need, the precision stock, and the quick bolt just to reload a little quicker. That's the build. That is one shot, headshot down. Just go for it. And I think that's pretty fun to run. You can put a different optic on. People run a different optic. You could probably take off the stock pad or something else and actually still play at a little closer range maybe, and you're still going to get those headshot downs. So obviously this is the sniper meta right now if you're into sniping. This is just a random build. I think the WSP Swarm should be the meta for SMGs right now. This is what it should be. Unfortunately with those pistols it's not going to be, but this is also built a little bit for the longer range for more sniper support. So you go with the Reckless long barrel, the Bruin heavy support, which you don't have to, but this really controls the recoil. 50 round mag, obviously you put a sight on it for those longer distance engagements, and then obviously a little bit more recoil control for those, again, longer distance gunfights. But that's the build that I'm using for sort of sniper support. You can also use the Bass B. There's an assless version of that I call. that can be decent. So yeah, that's pretty much the sniper meta. You can put the Bruin on, and here's another option. Here's a build for a Bruin, the Spirit Fire Suppressor, angled grip, 23-inch XRK barrel, 60 round mag to make it more like an AR, MK.3 reflector, which is one of the best sights in this game, period, especially in multiplayer. But we're talking about Warzone right now. So even in Warzone, it's a fantastic sight when you're playing sort of medium range. Longer range, it becomes a little harder to hit those shots. I would put that Eagle's Eye 2.5 on, but for this build, fantastic. Striker is decent. I think that it this build, especially when you're trying to build it a little bit longer to reach out, so you have those medium range engagements, maybe definitely a viable gun. So the Sonic Suppressor, the Striker Recon long barrel, the high grain rounds, just so you get a little bit more punch power and a little bit more range, 48 round mag, and then just put no stock on it. That way your mobility and your ability to scoot around the map is actually pretty solid. But this is a good build. You're not going to hit those shots at longer range with this no stock. You can change that, remove the stock, put a grip or something else on, and you can hit longer range shots. It's obviously not going to have that knockdown power, but decent, right? Let's see what we got. This is also a viable candidate, I think. The DG58, you build it like this, you'll be all right. I think again, an LMG sniper meta probably. We'll see if the Bass B still holds on. It's going to be subjective to what folks want to use. And I've only just played tonight because I was at work all day, so I haven't had a chance to make this video until late at night. So here we are, guys. But the Spirit Fire Suppressor, the Woody Long Barrel, Bruin Heavy Support, the Eagle's Eye 2.5, recoil reduction stock. I think this gun is fun to use, easy to hit shots, decent, right? This gun is also very, very, it's fun to use, and this is what I was talking about. I think the MTZ is still up there when it comes to hitting shots. And this is the build I use. I think it pretty much can 3-shot down people at about any range if you hit those 3 shots well, pretty much core shots. The Spirit Fire Suppressor for the muzzle, the MTZ Blackthorn barrel, the Eagle's Eye 2.5, MCW Blackjack, and then put that 20 round mag on there. And this baby, you hit your shots, you're gonna feel it, and they're gonna feel it. The power of that sumbitch. So, and then again, here's a little bit different build for the WSP Swarm. I think it should be the meta, honestly, guys. So pay attention to these builds, because I think once they nerf those crazy freaking revolvers, you're going to be dealing with an SMG, hopefully an SMG meta. So again, long barrel, suppressor, heavy grip, reflector, 50 round mag. This is built more for longer range engagements, so you can make a shorter version for sure. And let's see, I think that's probably going to cover. The tacky is also decent. Like, you can throw some of this stuff on here. Juke angled, angled. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Sorry, guys. Late. Juke angled grip. There we go. The long barrel, Spirit Fire, Eagle's Eye 2.5, and the core stock. I think those make this gun like super accurate. Is it going to be super meta? Are you going to just absolutely obliterate people with this at long range? No, but it's fun to use because it's got that 75 round mag as an LMG that comes with it. So you're going to be able to put a lot of damage down range per mag, which is also an interesting point. But I think those right now, if you want the meta for me, try these guns. Try this Pull My Ot and these revolvers. I think these are going to be absolute meta. You can, smokes obviously there. I'm running sleight of hand, double time, tempered, and high alert, just because I want to move quick. I want to reload fast. I don't want to have to plate a bunch, and then I want to see when people's looking at me. That's what we're doing. But these guys, if you haven't got these guns built, go build these, go unlock them, go get them leveled up, whatever you got to do. Try these right now because they are absolutely broken. I'm just telling you, they are broken as shit. So anyways, that's going to call it for me on this new update. I think we're headed the right direction. Hopefully there's going to be a nerf to these, but until there is, use these things, man. They're wild. And you're not going to be able to compete with people who are using them unless you're using them as well, because It's not on the same level with any other gun in the game. This is the most broken set of guns in the game. Try them out. Let me know what you think. If you have other thoughts, other ideas on what you think are meta, go ahead and comment below. Let me know what you think. This is all subjective, like I said, but I think these updates are going the right way. I'm looking forward to what they do post holidays. They're going to probably take a break from these major uploads, but after the holidays, we'll see what they do. So anyways, happy holidays, everybody. Much love. Hopefully everyone's enjoying the game. We'll see you on the next stream. We'll see you on the next video. Keep it real, y'all. Much love. Take care.